You know, if you put together every single LEGO game, we have had a total of 28 character rosters, amassing over 4,000 characters. But hey, when there's something strange in your character roster, who you gonna call? Oh yeah, so join me as we look at the strangest character from every single LEGO game. Cue the music. Hello there guys, I am RuggedEagle and nice to meet you and welcome to my channel. Without a further ado, let's get into it. And hey, if you went to enjoy, a like would be really appreciated. Thank you. And hey, maybe drop a cheeky subscribe too, only if you do go to enjoy. But there is a quick disclaimer, I will not be counting LEGO Star Wars the video game nor LEGO Star Wars 2 because we have the complete saga. As we progress through our list, we will be going in chronological order, starting with the complete saga, working our way up to the Skywalker saga. Kicking things off with, we have LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, and the strangest character in this LEGO game is Indiana Jones. Now, hey, there is nothing wrong with LEGO Indiana Jones in this LEGO game. I definitely think he's one of the best characters in this LEGO Star Wars game, and that is really strange to see. And the main reason why he is in this game in particularly is because they wanted to promote the next LEGO game. And if you didn't know, there was actually an entire bonus level themed on Indiana Jones that was meant to make it into the complete saga, but it got cut at the last minute. I really love how Indiana Jones is pretty much identical to Han Solo because they are the same actor. Now obviously Indiana Jones has his whip and his revolver sounds absolutely amazing in this game. Have a listen. This was before they decided to give Indy his proper face print, and here he has Han Solo's face. They literally go hand in hand, as the next LEGO game on the list is LEGO Indiana Jones The Original Adventures, and the strangest character in this one is Han Solo. I'm loving Cloud City, my head's in the sky, I'm Solo, I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. However, this one was a little bit different because it wasn't like they were trying to promote the next LEGO game because it was obviously LEGO Batman. We just simply got Han Solo and hey, I'm all for it. Now this may go down as the funnest character to unlock across all LEGO games, and it kind of reminds me in some sort of regard to Stanley in Peril. So to unlock Han Solo in LEGO Indiana Jones, you need to find 5 Star Wars characters in Peril, and then you get to obviously purchase Han Solo for 100,000 studs. The character is an exact carbonite copy, see what I did there? From obviously his character in the complete saga, and though this is the strangest character in this LEGO game, he definitely is one of the more unique characters, and we haven't really seen many characters from older LEGO games cross over into newer LEGO games ever since this, obviously excluding LEGO Dimensions. That's a bit different. Next up is LEGO Batman the video game, and oh, what a LEGO game, it's too good, it's too good. Remember the days of sending Alfred to his demise, choosing all the different bat suits when you finally get the sonar suit and all that? Good times. So the strangest character in this case, I'm gonna give it to the Yeti. LEGO Batman 1 only has a total of 46 characters in its character roster, and it is the smallest LEGO game character roster, and it doesn't really have any filler characters except from the Yeti. And let me tell you about the story of the Yeti. Give me a bit of ominous music. What is so creepy about the Yeti in LEGO Batman 1 the video game is, the Yeti does not appear in the game at all. This character is only ever found in the character roster, and some speculate the Yeti is one of Mr. Freeze's henchmen, but he does not appear in the Mr. Freeze level, and he's only seen on a few boxes. The character, if you look very closely, resembles Killer Croc without the blue jeans and without the scales. So you may be sat there asking yourself, how do you unlock the Yeti? Well, you unlock the Yeti by completing the worst level in the game, that being Penguin's Lair. And this is all we know about the character of the Yeti, so when you sleep tonight, ask yourself,
who is the Yeti?
Next up is LEGO Indiana Jones 2. The strangest character in this case is the janitor, and he's actually a main character. So when you begin playing LEGO Indiana Jones 2 and you start out on the Crystal Skull, the first 2 levels you mainly play as Indiana Jones and the janitor. And what is so peculiar about this character is someone has hurt this man. Look at him when he swings that broom. He's vicious. Yeah, I'm aware that my voice broke then, but he is a vicious man. Batman. In all honesty, the LEGO Indiana Jones 2 character roster isn't the greatest, and I think it is the worst LEGO game character roster because it's got a lot of filler characters such as the Peru nurse, the market trader, the greaser. And whoopie-doo, it's that time again where we sprint at a brick wall and head over to Hogwarts in LEGO Harry Potter, years 1 to 4. Now this actually was my most played LEGO game when I was younger, and it always kind of frustrated me how much you had to grind for Voldemort. You literally had to get every single gold brick and then complete a bonus level. Come on. I mean, at least Voldemort is worth it, unlike Supergirl in LEGO Batman 2. Now. Out of the entire list, this may be the most daftest looking character across all LEGO games, and that has to go to Crumshark. Yeah, this character is literally Jaws gone wrong. I mean, look how stupid he looks. Now, this character has the exact same moveset as Professor Lupin as a werewolf, and there's just something so fun about Crumshark walking around Diagon Alley waving at people doing front flips. And I still don't understand how this character can get about with his eyes at the side of his head, but hey, hats off to him. To be fair, the character is useful in the one underwater level, but that's about it. But hey, he's a happy chappy shark, so we'll leave him be. Oh, it seems like the Clone Wars have begun with LEGO Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars. Now, I'm going to give you a fair warning here. This next character is a little bit suspicious, and it has to go to the luxury droid. Now, the name kinda explains it itself, and this character is the most useless character, and it takes the spot over Chancellor Palpatine in the complete saga. You cannot even jump, nor attack. To make it even worse, you cannot even sprint as this character neither, and it kinda begs the question, what is the luxury droid for? And oh yeah matey, your ears are not deceiving you. Next up is LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, the strangest character in this game is actually one of the most overpowered characters just under Blackbeard, and that is the Ancient Sailor. Now, this old chap here does not have a gun nor a sword, he has a fish. Now, I don't know if this feature was made on purpose, but for some reason the fish just bypasses all weapons in this game, and you can easily defeat every single enemy and boss. Usually in LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean, before you actually hit somebody, you enter like a little duel mode with your cutlasses and then it registers the attack. But for some reason, the fish just bypasses this. So this old chap is literally the second most powerful character in this game. He can defeat Davy Jones, pretty much everybody. The only guy who's a little bit more powerful is Blackbeard. Now, in terms of most other LEGO games, this character would have been a filler character, but this character costs 100,000 studs. He has his own unique animation when he double jumps, where he does a cartwheel, and he's pretty overpowered. I mean, listen to this. Yeah, seriously, do not mess with the Ancient Sailor. Boom, boom is an ancient sailor. Boom, 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 but an ancient sailor. Boom, boom, but a doom, doom, doom. He'll slap you with his fish. And oh, look what time it is. Time to run through a brick wall again and head over to LEGO Harry Potter years 5 to 7. This next LEGO game character is kinda a universal character across all LEGO games, and he's pretty much appeared in every single LEGO game, and that is the LEGO Skeleton. Now, in the LEGO Harry Potter games, the Skeleton is kinda like an iconic character, very similar to Deadpool in the LEGO Marvel games, and every time you see him, he kinda dances with that stupid music, but hey, it's a pretty banging tune. I'll let you have a listen. There is a major issue that I do have with this character, and that is just how long it takes to attack. The character doesn't indirectly attack people. He has this little scare animation for his main forward attack, but it's really delayed in the frames until the actual person gets hit. And if we just fast forward to LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga real quickly, it was awesome to see the dancing skeleton return, which is a straight up reference to, obviously, the LEGO Harry Potter games. And no, that doesn't mean LEGO Harry Potter is the next LEGO game. It's a LEGO Disney game, you can trust me. It'd be like LEGO Dimensions with all your Disney characters. Anyway, the days of mumbling are now over. It's time to head over to Gotham City in LEGO Batman 2. Out of the entire list, this definitely was the most difficult decision for me, because Lego Batman 2 is kind of one of the most serious Lego games. There weren't really any filler characters, and all the characters were rather serious. There wasn't really a strange character. The base game has bob on 50 characters, and if you have DLC, it takes it up to 60 characters in total, which is rather low for a 2012 Lego game. I mean, I grew up with this. Look how tiny this character roster is. I swear it was bigger when I was younger. So I'm gonna choose Mad Hatter for this one. I really love the animations for this character in particularly, because he doesn't have a weapon as such, he just attacks people with his hat, and he's got some really fun animations, such as his jumping animation. He does this little heel click, and it's so fun just to run around spamming it, and I love his other moves, such as his tiptoeing when you sneak around as him. It just looks hilarious. I mean, look at his little walking animation too. The only problem about Gotham City in Lego Batman 2 is every 5 seconds you literally get jumped by a group of goons. And here's a quick question for you. Please let me know down below in the comments. What do you prefer, New York City in Lego Marvel 1 or Gotham City in Lego Batman 2? Let me know below. It's now time to jump over to Middle Earth in Lego Lord of the Rings. Lego Lord of the Rings is by far my all-time favourite Lego game, and it has a whopping 74 characters, which is a big improvement above Lego Batman 2, but I couldn't really pick a strange character because, again, this Lego game was rather serious. Call me a fool of a two all you want, because I'm going to go with the strangest mithril weapon for this one. And after looking at all of these very strange mithril weapons, I've decided to go with the mithril music boots, and these are a bit weird. They're a bit funky, There's only one way to explain this one, and that's to have a listen. It is rather funny. I'll let you have a listen. I tell you what, you can get me a pair of them boots. Hang on a minute, copy that, yeah. An emergency. Oh, looks like it's Lego City Undercover. Now this one's a bit different because the characters kinda work as disguises for Chase McCain, so I'm gonna go with the weirdest character class. This was a very easy choice. Out of all of these character classes here, it's gotta be the farmer. I mean, you literally run around firing eggs out of a chicken's backside. I mean, can we get stranger than that? Oh boy, yeah we can. Next up is Lego Marvel Superheroes 1 with Squirrel Girl. Now, I don't know if this is a joke in the TT Games office, but Squirrel Girl has been in every single Lego Marvel game, and in Lego Marvel Avengers, she has her own squirrel mech. I mean, hats off, I don't know what these squirrels are made of. She has explosive squirrels in the game. This, to me, is just one of the most baffling Lego game characters. However, though, I have grown to like the character because she's got a really overpowered ability where she charges up a load of squirrels around enemies' bodies and it literally just tears them apart. And finally, she also has a wingsuit, which is a little bit disappointing. It doesn't really work correctly, and I think that's Squirrel Girl. I'm going to do it again. In a nutshell. Time to jump over to where everything is awesome in Lego Movie, the video game. This character is a very unusual character, and it has to go to Michelangelo. Now, just in case you don't know who Michelangelo is, he's an Italian sculptor slash painter, and he was born in 1475. And now he's in a Lego game, sculpting with Lego blocks. Nice. Yeah, if this is not the most unusual choice for a character in both the movie and the game, and he's also with Shakespeare alongside Abraham Lincoln, it's cool to see him. So what does Michelangelo do? Well, he basically throws explosive Lego paintbrushes. And he even returned in Lego Movie 2, the video game. He's literally a playable character in that too. Never in my life would I have ever pictured Michelangelo flying around a western town in super pants. And I'm so glad I've seen it. Anyway, it's time to head far over the misty mountains cold to Lego Hobbit. This one goes to Bomber Barrel. This character was purely created due to the scene in The Hobbit where they're going down the stream in the barrels. I'm gonna use a Star Wars quote to explain this one. Try spinning, that's a good trick. Well, yeah, in this case, it is a good trick. This, to me, is one of the greatest characters ever. All you simply do is just spin around, waving your axes around, attacking every single orc in your vicinity. To top all of this off too, he has his own special ability. If you hold down one of the special buttons, he just rolls around inside the barrel. If you are sat there wondering, does Bomber do this in the movie? Yes, he does, and I just think it's brilliant how the devs decided to add this concept into the game and added him as his own separate character too. Now, once you start spinning as this character, nothing else can penetrate through. You are kinda invincible. Granted, the character is a bit bizarre, but this is one of the funnest characters to play as, and I think it's a brilliant concept. Next up is the one Lego game with the planets. Oh yeah, it's Lego Batman 3, way beyond Goth. I still ponder the question today, why did they add the planets? I mean, if you like the planets, you like the planets, but Gotham City all the way. Now, I did state that this list would get very unusual, and the weirdest character in this game is Bat-Cow. As any normal person would, I just had to know what Bat-Cow was about, so I went to look it up on Google, and Bat-Cow is just an average cow with a cowl and a cape. In terms of his backstory though, he was basically rescued from being turned into beef, and he's just a pet for Batman and Robin. So I guess he moved in. In all honesty, the character is just simply put into the game's character roster for a laugh. He doesn't really have any abilities that kinda makes him stand out, and there's no point in really being Bat-Cow, but in all honesty, just running around as a cow is pretty hilarious in the middle of space. His neutral attack is very, very slow, however, his slam down ability kinda like drop kicks the enemy, so I guess he's got that going for him. Still to this day, I really love how diverse the Lego Batman 3 character roster is. I mean, you've got super funny characters such as Batman 1966, Batman, you've got some awesome characters like Atrocitus. And what really brings this game down is, well, the planets. Time to spare no expense with the next one and head over to Lego Jurassic World and give us the Jurassic Park. Now, we all know Lego Jurassic World doesn't have the greatest character roster because the main highlight is the playable dinosaur, so I'm going to pick a dinosaur for this one, and it has to go to the Velociraptor baby. I mean, most of the other baby dinosaurs actually look like a baby dinosaur, but this one looks like a plushie. And when you move around as this character, it always reminds me of the Pixar lamp, and that is actually a character in Lego Incredibles, thinking about it. Now, yes, the little baby Velociraptor does look cute, but it's just a very strange model for a baby Velociraptor. Wouldn't you just shrink the main raptor to be a lot smaller? Because all of the other baby dinosaurs look correct. This one just looks like a toy.
You are a toy!
Next up is Lego Multiverses, Lego Dimensions. Now, unfortunately, I do not have Dimensions as of yet. I did have it when I was younger, but I'm trying to pick up all the packs so I can finally talk about Dimensions and maybe do a few videos on the game itself. It will be coming very, very soon. That being said, let's jump over to Lego Avengers. Butterball is the strangest character for this one. Now, Butterball is one of the most expensive Lego game characters, costing you 500,000 studs. So Butterball was a fry cook who basically got mutated, and he basically becomes invulnerable and invincible to pretty much everything, and he's got no combat experience and a super fast metabolism, not allowing him to change his body shape. Now, Lego Avengers perfectly reflected this. For starters, the character has silver hearts, which basically means he cannot be killed, very similar to Superman in Lego Batman 2, and he also deflects bullets whenever he gets hit. Then he's got a really powerful thunderclap, very similar to Hulk, where he smashes two frying pans together and it just causes a shockwave. And yes, that does not happen in real life if you smack two frying pans together. You're not going to knock down your house, don't worry. Going back to what I mentioned earlier, this character has very little combat experience, and you really do see this reflected in the animations. For example, when he's running around, he falls over most of the time. Then when it comes to combat, he basically flops himself onto the floor, starts throwing frying pans at people, hugging them to squeeze them. He really is a fun character, to be fair. From a galaxy far, far away again, next up is LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, out of all of the strange creatures in Star Wars, that being big or small, I still believe the worst character and the strangest character is Kathleen Kennedy. And I did mention this one in my worst character from every single LEGO game video. If you want to check it out, there'll be a link at the end and a card up there. It still baffles me why Kathleen Kennedy is in this game. I understand with J.J. Abrams and Colin Trevorrow in LEGO Jurassic World and Steven Spielberg in that, but for this one, I don't get why she's in it. She's just a producer, and none of her movesets match what she does. However, she is good at destroying stuff with her abilities. It's now time to swoop on over to LEGO World. Now for me, I absolutely love this LEGO game. It's a sandbox LEGO game, so if you enjoy building stuff and just messing around, this LEGO game is for you. In terms of the character selection, I love the character roster. It's got mainly nostalgic LEGO themes as characters such as LEGO Power Miners, you've got LEGO Monster Fighters, LEGO Atlantis, Nexo Knights. And if you used to collect the LEGO character blind bags when you were younger, you'll probably recognise quite a few of the characters. Now, this is a really tough decision because it's kind of a bit different, this one, because it's a sandbox LEGO game, but for the strangest character, I'm going to go with the carol singers. I mean, they've got a very peculiar singing voice, but it's kind of harmonic at the same time. I'll let you have a listen. Yeah, so out of all of the abilities for the characters, I do think this is the strangest ability, so I'm going with this. And parkouring its way into the list is LEGO Ninjago, the movie, the video game. That was the Ninjago theme, just in case you didn't know, the acoustic version. Now, I'm sure we all still know the best character in this game is the hot dog guy, and well, he's the strangest too. He's got to be the hot dog guy again. I love the hot dog guy. Now, in a world full of ninjas constantly battling it out with katanas doing ninjutsu, the hot dog guy literally holds his own with his mustard gun and his ketchup gun. I mean, look how amazing the character model is, just running around, waddling about, shooting mustard and ketchup. We all need to appreciate this guy again. Let's have 2 seconds. We all love the hot dog man. Dropping the exact same year in 2017, up next is LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. LEGO Marvel 2's character roster is absolutely enormous, and it's got tons of characters, especially when you add on top of all of the DLC. And as I stumbled across this character, it really did baffle me, and that character is Bushman. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. That on top of his head is a frying pan. Technically speaking, there is 2 versions of Bushman. You've got Bushman from the 60s, who basically is just an average bloke who's put a frying pan on top of his head and he's defeated quite a lot of villains. Then there is the other version of Bushman, who is pretty much the exact same. Except from every time this version takes off his frying pan, he sends out a signal called Bush Vision, which is basically his special ability. And I absolutely love the concept. He is basically just an average bloke who's carved out 2 holes in a frying pan, shoved it on top of his head, and gone out to fight crime. And I guess he does this by bashing his frying pan head on the floor and causing a shockwave like he does in the LEGO game. I love his little ability too, where you just charge at them with a frying pan on your head, and imagine that coming at you in real life, someone sprinting at you like a bull with a frying pan on their head. And you know what? I really like Bushman. I actually do. Next up is LEGO Incredibles. And the strangest character is a Pixar character, and it comes from Inside Out, and that is Bing Bong. So Bing Bong is Riley's imaginary friend that she created when she was 3-year-old, and he's basically just a mix-up of loads of different stuff, and he kind of resembles an elephant. Some of the dialogue that leaves this elephant's tusk is ridiculous, and not to forget he can play a saxophone from it too. I ain't even joking, have a listen.
I know my rocket's around here somewhere.
Then he's got his little super chariot, which I don't even know what this is. It's got like rainbows coming out of it, and it's pretty fast. Not to forget just how sadistic this character is. He's got a move where he starts dancing with you to kill you, and then some of the stuff that leaves his mouth. I'm scared of Bing Bong.
I know my rocket's around here somewhere.
That is literally a demonstration of all you hear playing this character. That is pretty accurate, I'm proud of that. This next character is very, very weird, and it's from LEGO DC Supervillains, and that is Chang'e. Yeah, there you go. Behold an egg with robotic spider legs. Now, if you do want to know a little bit more about this abomination of a strange character, you can pause here and have a read of it. Though the character's appearance is very questionable, he is kind of fun to play. You can bounce around like most big figs do in modern LEGO games. He can fire out explosive eggs that just detonate. He also has a spinning move where his legs spin around, and just imagine this character in live action. Ooh, I have no idea what that would look like. No idea. Next up is the worst rated LEGO game, and for me this isn't the worst LEGO game. I would have to say LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, but it's LEGO Movie 2. And no, for this one it is not Michelangelo. Now, I'm not going to select one character for this one. I'm going to put down all of the mini doll characters because I just think they are really cursed and they don't feel like they belong in a LEGO game. Now, I am fully aware these are actual LEGO characters and they originated in the LEGO Friends sets back in the day. Now, playing LEGO games all my life, growing up with them and now making videos on them, I just don't feel like these mini dolls belong in LEGO games. They don't look right and I'll never get used to them. Hats off to the animators though, they did a really good job at animating these characters, but they don't feel right. And in terms of the overall character roster for LEGO Movie 2, it is rather disappointing because the characters are more outfits, they don't really change and no characters have special abilities. But it is now time to move on to another galaxy far, far away, and that is in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Now, very similar to probably most of you here, we have all just recently played LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and the strangest character by far for me is Claude. I mean, do I need to go into detail here? Look at him, he's just a moving slug. And when this character starts sprinting, oh my, he proper goes for it. I do love fighting with this character though, when you start sending them up into the air by spinning your head around and you start using your feet to attack them. It can be rather funny to watch. And hey, thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you did go to enjoy, a like would be greatly appreciated, and if you want to check out any of my other videos, feel free to subscribe, and there'll be a link to my every single LEGO game series playlist here if you want to check out any others. And anyway, I know my rocket's around here somewhere. I'll see you all in a bit. Adios.